All right, so I'm going to talk about the three different types of training partners that you have in Jiu Jitsu. So, my name is Gil Alcocer. I started training Jiu Jitsu back in 2008. I opened my own academy, the Jiu Jitsu Institute, in 2018, and I received my black belt from the Mendez brothers back in 2019. All right, so the three types of training partners. So, first off, let me just throw this out here. In the beginning of your Jiu Jitsu training, white belt, especially the first like 6 to 9 months or so, this doesn't really apply to you. Basically, everyone's going to be better than you, and your goal is just keep showing up, keep showing up. Make sure your mindset is to learn and just learn the basic fundamentals of jiu-jitsu. Less emphasis on winning, more about learning. And then by the time you put on your blue belt, you'll be able to start to separate a little bit, and this video will make more sense. You'll be able to have these different types of training partners. So start with the lesser skilled opponents. So this is where you should be spending most of your time, contrary to what a lot of people think. The goal of training is to get better at jiu-jitsu, not to get more fit or more fast or more explosive, not to win in that way with your attributes. Basically, the goal is to get technically better at jiu-jitsu, learn more jiu-jitsu, so that your the amount of technique that you have and that you can actually perform when it matters gets better, bigger, and grows. So when you pick a lower level opponent, and I'm talking about like substantially lower level, like you can tap them at will most of the time when you want. And then when you roll with them, the goal isn't to just tap them over and over and over again. That's just a waste of time. I mean, maybe that'll pump up your ego for some people. For me, that's just insanely boring. But what you do with these opponents is you start working on the next level. You don't use your A game, use your B, C, D game. Try to, the stuff you want to get good at that you're not good at, you get to keep trying it on these people over and over again, and there's no consequence. Like, it's not like if someone sees this person pass your guard, you got to worry and be like, oh, they're going to think this person is better than me now because they passed my guard. That shouldn't be in your mind anyways, but I came up through the belt ranks too. I've been training for a long time, and that was definitely my concern in the beginning, especially when it's like blue belt versus white belt kind of style, because the white belt can catch a blue belt or beat them here and there, and so it feels way more important at that level. But I promise you, it's not. But anyways, one thing that I like to do the most at my level, and I own my own academy, so this works out well for me, is like the newer teenage boys, and then like blue belt leveling up females, like mostly blue belt, because even females, by the time they start getting purple belt, it's not that easy to do what you want. But there's such a size and strength difference that at blue belt, it's still fairly easy to, I can do whatever I want with them. So I like to roll with them a lot. I can put myself in, I can try anything. Like, I literally don't care if they mount me. If I really wanted to, I could just pick them up and move them off of me. And like, that's a combination of the fact that I'm much bigger, much stronger, but I also am a black belt, so I know exactly where to push and move other people in the correct way. So when you add all that together, I can do whatever I want for the most part when it comes to these roles. So I don't care if they pass. I'll try something new. I can still get more reps because I'm not stuck in that bad spot with someone that can hold me there. I can get out anytime I want. So that's how I like to use a lower level opponent or training partner, someone quite a bit lower. It's to upgrade the software, not the hardware. Software being your mind, your technique, hardware being your body, your attributes like speed and explosiveness, things like that. So then you have the exact opposite. The second training partner type is going to be the guys that are substantially better than you. I'm talking like usually a couple belts higher, people that can just do what they want to you. You're now, the roles have flipped completely. So you shouldn't you shouldn't be, your goal when you roll with someone way better than you, it's not to beat them. That's just a dumb goal, honestly. If they're actually way better than you, which is the scenario I'm talking about, you're not going to beat them, you're not going to catch them. And even if you did, like, again, that doesn't make you didn't get any better, you caught them or whatever. But that doesn't really happen in jiu-jitsu. When there's a big gap, there's like 50 steps in between starting and finishing. So if you get ahead by like 2 steps, like, there's no way you're doing 48 more steps to beat someone that's way better than you if they're not letting you do the stuff. So like, get rid of the ego, get rid of the mindset of I gotta win, I gotta win, I gotta win, or try to win. Oh, today's the day I'm gonna catch the black belt. Like, get away from that when it's very far apart. If you're a brown belt and you've never tapped the certain black belt and you have tough rolls, like, yeah, that's a completely different scenario than what I'm talking about. But when it's like wide gap in skill sets is what I'm talking about. So what you should be, stick to your A game, like try to win, quote unquote, but what I'm talking about more is like, don't expect to win, don't get mad, don't get upset, don't show frustration. Like, none of that makes any sense. They should be way better than you. So if you're training, if you're a white belt and you go to a Jiu Jitsu academy and you roll with a black belt and you jump past his guard, you pass his guard, you knee on belly, and then you choke him from the mount or something like that, that doesn't mean you're good. That means that guy's not a real black belt and you shouldn't be training there. You should be losing to your instructor when you're brand new, or someone that's leaps and bounds ahead of you. That's literally how it works. There's no in between. There's no like, no, I'm that guy. I'm just going to go super hard. Like, oh, I get so mad when I lose because I'm better than that. Like, that's just dumb. That's so stupid. That's such a stupid way to look at it. That's meant for when you're closer in skill level to somebody, not someone that's way above you. One of the things that happens, I see a lot with people that I'm way better than. I'm talking like white and blue belts, especially white belts. I'll just lay back and play guard, open guard, no grips. And what I'm trying to do is get them, like, I don't want to wrestle with them and make it really hard, or I just want to show them the difference in the skill set. So I think the best way to do that usually is to lay back and play guard and let them enter, and then show them with technique. Just like, honestly, it's just like outclass them to show them, like, look, I'm not breathing hard, I'm not trying hard, I'm not using lots of muscle. I don't have to be on top to beat you. I'm letting you have the advantage of being on top. And then the problem with that is you get like a white belt who thinks they're going to win, or their goal is to win. They think that's what they should be doing. So they'll stand back, and they'll like go to reach, and I move like an inch, and then they jump back, rip away, try to clear like 10 feet in between us, because they're looking for that perfect grip, that perfect moment where they're going to make their grip and they're going to go and they're going to pass this black belt's guard. That's not reality. It doesn't work that way. If it works that way, then he's not a real black belt. So change your mindset. Like, what I always tell guys is like, there's a time and place for that speed passing and getting around somebody. That's when you're closer in skill sets, or when you're like about to get ready for a competition, or you are getting ready for a competition and the goal is to win. If you're a white belt and you're going against a black belt, the goal is not to win. Just step in their guard, roll, do jiu-jitsu, try to win, obviously, but don't get mad and don't expect to win. And then what happens is you're putting in your time, you're getting your reps, you're getting beat over and over and over again, and then your subconscious is going to start to pattern recognition. It's going to realize, oh, every time I put my hand here, even if you don't realize it consciously, your subconscious is starting to recognize the patterns. Hand here, I get tapped. Hand here, I get swept. And it just goes down the chain, trying everything, and then something will start to work, and it's going to add that to and then you move on to the next step. And so the faster you just lose, honestly, the faster you jump in there and lose, the faster you get better. You're going to get technically better, and you're going to learn, and you're going to progress faster. Versus, let me waste 30 seconds, not even touching him, and try to jump past, oh, he pulled me in guard, and now I get tapped out. Like, you just wasted 30 seconds, a lot of energy, when you could have stepped in there and learned something. You could have got a mental rep, a subconscious rep that's going to make you better in the future. And that's how you should be looking at it when you're going against someone much better than you. And then finally, we have a similar level to you. So these are the guys that are right around your skill set. Sometimes you win, sometimes they win, sometimes there's no tap, it's just super even, but you guys are right around that same level. So these are the guys you're going to want to spend the most time with when you're a few weeks out from like a competition and you are trying to push your cardio, you are trying to work on your timing, you are trying to like get exhausted. It's going to be a lot easier to accept losing to someone way above you and not try as hard. You just tap and you move on. And then when you're fighting someone, rolling with someone much lower level than you, they can't really make you push your cardio. You're not going to get tired, so you're not really, the effort's low. But then you find that sweet middle spot So in a competition, you're going to be fighting guys that are around your skill set, and that's when you're going to need the extra cardio and pushing through, the mental toughness, that type of stuff. And that's what you're going to get from these guys. I'd say, I mean, save these for like when you're in the mood, you want to go super hard. Like that's fine sometimes, but obviously not all the time. Like I said, most of your time should be spent with people you're way better than, and it's not to just wreck them and boost your ego. It's to learn and get better.